And the car that I haven't seen in a long time in our lot, a 2019 Toyota Camry SE. I'm going to take a friend to Louisville, Kentucky. I was going to take a Charger Hemi, but this came in, so take this instead. I remember when this car came brand new, I think 1 mile on the odometer. We're now in September and it has 27,000 miles on it. So these rental cars go through a lot. All right, guys, so I want to demonstrate this, the radar guided cruise control in this Toyota Camry SE. So right now I have it set on 80 miles per hour, but I can set the distance against the vehicle as well. So I'm at a good distance right now. I'm doing 67 miles an hour going uphill. Yet again, I have the cruise control set on 80. So if I can overtake him real quick, now the car is accelerating back to its set speed to 80 miles per hour. But now it senses that trailer, the 18-wheeler in front of me. So now it's just gonna go slow back again and have a good distance between us. So once again, I'm now limiting it down to the distance between us. If I turn left again, it senses that there's no one in front of me, and we're back to normal speeds again. I did miss the exit about twice, embarrassingly. Trip. So usually the trip mode will be on normal cars, like somewhere on the gauge cluster. Some Toyota models, the trip computer or trip reset to switch from trip A to trip B would be like somewhere on the steering wheel. And the Camrys is right here, odometer trip. So a total of 205 miles, not so bad. I just drunk up a quarter of a tank of gas. Again, the reason why I chose this over the Hemi Charger is not, I'm not gonna say this is a better car. Of course, I'm gonna be doing a lot of driving, so I'm trying to save gas as well. Also, I do remember getting these vehicles brand new earlier this year in January, so I want to see how well these the interior held up over these 27,000 miles. The person who returned the car returned it from Little Rock, so now made his way back here from last night. So that's the whole reason for this review. It's now time to pick up my friend, again, a different friend, to church, and I'm gonna get his point of view of this Camry, because he has a Camry, he likes Camrys as well. Just tell me what you like about it compared to your Camry.
I mean, it's night and day.
Night and day?
It is night and day. I mean, that's not just a makeover, that's like plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the rims. I mean, you look at the rims, stock 18s. Beautiful, beautiful, sleek, sporty, classy.
Mm-hmm.
All of the above.
Mm.
Are they?
Have you checked the back out?
Have not checked the back out. I like the black in the grill too, man. I like the combo. The black. A lot of them have this black grill right here. It's almost like it's showing its fangs.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. The slim, the sleek eyes right there. Headlight. You got the mascara run right here. Dual exhaust right there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like fins. Got the fin back here. It's nice, man. It's really spacious. First of all, extremely spacious. It's very sleek. It's an extremely classy yet affordable vehicle. I like the upholstery. I mean, I'm not the car expert, but I can tell you it's an A+ for me. All around dependability, affordability combination, smooth ride. It's also got a little kick to it. It has a little giddy up, because usually with your sportier cars, you know, you're gonna have a little bit of higher price range, but this is a good combination of the sportiness, but also the affordability.
That's it?
Yeah.
This thing is smooth and planted. The steering is not as precise as the Honda Accord I just recently reviewed, but you have plenty of grip in this car. This car is so quiet on highway speeds. 90 miles an hour feels the same as 70. Man, this thing is just so quiet. The way this body is designed, it just shoots through the air. But this is a very quiet cabin. So speak about comparison. Before I go to a full in-depth review of this 2019 Toyota Camry SE, let's take a look back at this 2012 Toyota Camry SE. Now this is the family car currently right now. I did remember us getting it around the end of 2015. So we had it for almost 4 years now. Don't recall how many miles it had on it when we purchased it used, but nonetheless, here's the key. Now, believe it or not, even though it's 2019, I think very few Toyota still use this key. I think something like the Toyota Sequoia, but this is the key it came with. You lock it. They still got the old classic beep. You unlock it twice, unlocks all the doors. As you guys know, I am 6'9". Get it in. I have decent amount of room. This car was in production from 2012 to 2017, and I believe 2015 had a front facelift. So there's a model in between this car I'm sitting in and the 2018 2019 current Toyota Camry. But nonetheless, both of those cars, the model I'm in right now, is the exact same as the one from 2015, 2016, 2017. It's just a front facelift. Even though it looks like a completely different car, the steering wheel's pretty much the same. The tachometer is the same. The gear lever is the same. The radio is the same. Everything's pretty much the same on the inside. The way it drives is similar as well. Obviously, the key difference is the exterior. So let's go ahead and get it started. One thing about these Camrys, when you start these vehicles, and also, let me just play back real quick. I'm gonna cut that up real quick. Take out the key, and I'm gonna start it again. This is a good way to start the video. This is one that I really don't like. When you start the vehicle and the audio's loud, you want to cut it down. It doesn't do anything for the first like 5 seconds. There's a huge delay because when the display goes off of the Toyota, wherever it says on there, then you could change the audio and stuff like that. Sometimes the door has this weird little cheap sounding material it makes, but I kind of noticed that with these Camrys. But once again, I'm 6'9" and I fit in here pretty well. I do have some room behind the brake pedal. It's not a lot. Thank you. I have no idea what he said. So the example I'm in right now currently has 61,000 miles on it, so it's fairly used. The interior held up pretty well, and everything works pretty well. It's a touchscreen. You have your audio, you can change your seat. If it's really bright outside, it's gonna be hard for you to really tell that well because this LCD display. But it works, it's pretty quick as well. Very fast, very responsive. So maybe delay on the camera, but to me, it works pretty well. You can look at your tire pressure, fuel consumption, hook up your phone, Bluetooth, you can call someone. This is a really simple, easy to use, and I like this infotainment center. Now we go to the climate control right here. It's also easy to use. I'm not gonna go too much into like the quality. It's just straightforward. It gets the job done. Temperature control, AC, hazards. Once again, just a very easy, simple layout. And also has a CD player. Now on the steering wheel, you have power shifters. You control your volume on the left, and you control if you want to go up, down, forward, or backwards. Change your mode if you want to go to, you know, FM, AM, Bluetooth, etc. You can answer the phone, you can decline or end the phone conversation. The option I have right now has daytime running lights. You got your window switches right here. Automatic down only and up for the driver's side. There's no auto down for any of the other three, nor is it auto up as well. This option does have a sunroof. Just a sunroof and moonroof. There's no panoramic roof option on this model. Again, this is just a simple, easy to use layout vehicle. Now I'm in the back of the 2012 Toyota Camry. Now I am sweating back here because it is hot. For some odd reason I have the windows rolled up. But anyways, if I sit up properly straight, my head is on the roof. It's like a little slope right here due to the sunroof, so that's not in my way. Even if this was the SE and it had no sunroof option, I believe my head would still be hitting on the roof. So if you're 6'5" and above, take that into consideration. But I mean, the seats are comfortable-ish. I'm not for sure how long or how comfortable the ride would be back here. All right, so let's go ahead and get out of this car. Let's talk about the inside and out at the 2019. All right, so for the new generation of Toyotas, here's the new key design. You can find this on the new Corollas, the new Toyota CHRs, and some other models of Toyotas. And this one is for the Toyota Camry right now. So lock it. That's the same traditional Toyota beat. Nothing wrong with that. Unlock it, and let's go ahead and do a little review. So I'm not really for sure if Toyota has some special type of tints or just the interior fabric they use in these cars. But I've yet to get in this car and feel like it's like 120 degrees. When I had it sitting outside yesterday out in Kentucky, it wasn't hot whatsoever. So I find that pretty interesting and cool. So we're going to try to start it up. Now both the Camrys, you can feel the engine shake when it's trying to crank over, when trying to turn over. But idling, this is very smooth. You don't feel that much vibration as you do the last generation. And again, it's not a lot of vibration in that car. This does not have the sunroof option. I praise the Chevrolet Malibu for its leg room for someone who's tall. I don't have a review on the Chevrolet Malibu currently right now. If you're 6'5" and above, I do recommend you taking the Chevy Malibu on the test drive, but I'm in the Camry. And let me tell you about this Toyota Camry. This, not even the SE, just even on the LEs, with the automatic seat, I believe that the Toyota Camry, this generation, has the best driver position in the midsize car. I'm talking about the midsize front engine, front wheel drive segment. I just absolutely just love it. Now, I'm gonna compare this actually a little bit to the 2018 Honda Accord that I reviewed earlier. I was going to start with the gear shifter. For one, it's kind of a short throw. Now, when you're in park, I'm not for sure you can see the blue light right here. Indicates blue that you're in park. If you're in reverse, it thinks in orange. Your neutrals in green and blue. And Sport Plus will also be in blue as well. For me, I don't have to move my hand that much. The coffee mug's kind of in the way. I don't have to move my hand that much from the position. So I just love the position of the gear shifter. The gauge clutches are very nice layout to it. I get more to the engines than both of them in a second. I love the steering wheel. Nice leather wrap steering wheel. Easy to use. Also has paddle shifters integrated in the back of it. A huge difference between that generation Camry and this generation Camry is the infotainment center. Easy to use, easy to read. I do find it odd that the scroll is kind of right here. It's kind of just, it feels out of place. It's not a huge delay when you press the buttons, but it's not as quick as that generation. Maps, well, this doesn't have navigation installed into it. And sadly, even though it's 2019, this one does not have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. And I know for 2020, you can get it. Track, phone, infotainment. You have iHeartRadio, the fuel, Yelp. And other stuff, you know, weather, traffic, sign up. Not for sure what that is. Then you got your climate control. It's very easy to use as well. Most of the cars, you press mode, and if you skip this one, like if you want this mode to your face and your feet, if you skip it by accident, you have to keep pressing it just to get back to it. But not this model. So if you accidentally skip it, you just have to go back to it. Easy and simple. But right now I'm in the 2019 LE, and this is how the climate controls are different from each other. Fan speed on the left, temperature gauge on the right, auto AC, just pretty much a simple layout as well. Got your fans right here, the AC button you have to press, and you can turn the whole system off right here. On full blast, I'm not for sure if you can hear me that well. It isn't loud, but yet again, it does blow pretty well. So you got your volume control right here. You have your voice command down this way right here. You got your phone and your back option. Now, in the 2012 model, you can look at your vehicle information, tire pressure, fuel consumption, all that stuff on the infotainment center. But now it's all integrated on the gauge cluster. So when you look at your tire pressure, you just go through the arrows on the steering wheel. trip, your fuel economy. You can do much more on this, eco meter. Now, all windows, this is one thing I really like about Toyotas. This is also on the Corolla. Even the Corolla LE, all the windows go up and down automatically. Every single last one of them. 4 easy clicks. Simple, easy as that. You also, in this model, you also have front collision warning as well. So if you come real close to a car, it'll brake for you, or just automatically give like a warning, like brake in the middle. One thing that's slightly different as well, the trunk release and the gas cap release as well. Now, on this model, you have to hold it. I think it takes 1.5 seconds for it to unlock. And then for the gas cap release, I'm gonna press it right now, and now it just pops open. So you do have a way to insert your USB in both the Camrys. You have your auxiliary port right here, and it's even labeled on the slots, so you have no trouble looking for it. Now, when we first got these brand new, I'm not for sure, most of these Toyotas, if you get it brand new, this little spot right here is kind of sharp. I'm surprised at how sharp it is down here. Kind of weird. But when you're charging up your phone, it does charge up pretty quickly. Versus this, you have your traditional just leverage. You pull it instantly, then it unlocks, as you just heard. Storage, the cup holder has this, you can remove this little slot right here. But if you spill like a mess down here, you just remove it and clear up the whole area. You have a little storage right here, which I like and prefer. So when you have your USB, if you always have your typical USB to charge up your phone, you can just insert it here. Now, it is kind of a reach to put it here, and if you have kind of big hands, you may struggle to insert it in properly. So while I do like the storage in here a lot, it is kind of hard to get in there. I'm not for sure how fast your phone will charge up in here, but that's one of the USBs. You do have some storage in here as well. Pretty decent for this car. And here goes another little charger point. Now it's time for me to compare the, if you heard that sound, that's the sound I'm talking about, that little cheap sounding. Inside doesn't sound that bad, but it sounds kind of weird. But let's go ahead and talk about the back seat. It is easy to get into. If I sit up straight, my head is slightly touching the roof. Not slightly, it is touching the roof. But back here, I'm actually comfortable if I just slouch a little bit. So long distance, I may have a little problems, but right now, it's pretty good. Man, these seats are pretty comfortable. I love the stitching and the way it looks back here as well. I love the layout. It looks so beautiful, even from the back. All right, so it's time to talk about the exterior design, shall we? Now, which one should we start off first? Let's go with the old one. I do like the design of this. It's very handsome. It's not too sporty. It's not too outlandish. It's not too flamboyant. It's very simple. Does it look like the LE? Slightly a little bit. I believe it uses the same headlights, but the front bumper is slightly different. I like the LEDs, but the LEDs look kind of aftermarket. It does look like it was integrated like on the car originally, but they still shine bright on the vehicle. I do love the wheels. There's nothing, again, if this is the SE, but it's not like too sporty or anything whatsoever. It's not trying too hard. The side proportions, again, it's a very nice mid-sized car with a little sport package to it. I like the rear of it. I like the little spoiler that it gives to you. I do like the tail lights. It does look kind of sleek. Now, Toyota, when they did the facelift for this car in 2015, they rechanged everything on the exterior except for the roof. So the roof is still the same as 2015. The interior, like I said earlier, is pretty much the same in 2015. You may see some slight difference in the buttons on the steering wheel may have different like texture or format. Nice, handsome looking car. Now it's time to look at the 2019 Camry Se. Now this is a head turner right here. I do love the way the Toyota, now people are making fun of Toyotas and Lexus for the front grille. I like this Toyota Camry. It's not too flashy, but it is pretty sporty. It does stand out. This is pretty much a signature for Toyota. This reminds me of a 2007 Toyota Camry. Nothing wrong with that, but at least it has its own little signature currently. This option does not have LED. I do like the headlights as well. They shine bright at night. I do like the sportiness of the wheels. It's both black and like a stainless. Got some scratches on here, but it is what it is. Now the side of it, man, it looks bigger than the 2012. Interior wise, it's also bigger and more spacious. I do like from the side, you can see the back when I get to that in a second. I love how Eric will explain like a little mascara. The door handles feel kind of great, feel solid. That little beep was just warning me that I left the windows down on the vehicle. It's that same tail lights as the LE, but you have this little, not for sure what they call it, but usually for like sports cars, supercars, the air is supposed to come out through this little vent, and obviously it doesn't, just fake, but it's a nice little touch to it. It's this Camry SE 2012, which has one little single exhaust, functional, just one, nothing out of the ordinary. Now the exhaust tip is slightly bigger on the outside. That's nothing wrong with that, but I do have a little problem with this Camry SE. So it uses two, which looks good, but over time only one's functional, so one is dirty and the other one is clear. So if Toyota is going to do this, or any car manufacturer is going to do this, at least go ahead and just paint this black so it can match over time. Now I'm going to use both the remotes to unlock the trunk. What you do is just hold the little button right here, and let's see which one is the fastest and which one comes up all the way. Well, the black one opened up first. I think you can't hold them both side by side, but if I hold up the white one, it unlocks and it lifts all the way up. So that's a key difference between both of them. All right, so let's talk about performance, shall we? Now both use a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. You can get the SEs and the V6 option as well, but this is a great opportunity for me to demonstrate the difference between the two. We're looking at the 2012. This is 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. Made it to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and this one has 173 brake horsepower. The same one pretty much as the normal base LE, nothing special about it. Only available in a automatic gearbox. Now both, which I like, are hydraulic, so you don't have to fool with any leverage. Now this is also a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. As you can tell, the engine bay is a little busy down here, but nonetheless, 2.5 liter made it to a 8-speed automatic gearbox. It has 203 brake horsepower, and that's pretty good for a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. It makes a pretty good noise as well. Back to it, let's do some engine notes, shall we? I don't want to say shall we, because that's Saab Cali 4. So let's hear the melody, or let's hear the voice of these Camrys. Now it does have a little safety. I think at 4,000, well, you'll see. I'm not for sure exactly at which RPM it is, but it will hold it. And what's really funny is, I think the 2019s, the 2018s, I don't think you could do this. When you're in park, that safety will just, you know, it makes it sound like it's a two-step, which I really like. So let me just demonstrate for you real quick. Yeah, 4,500 just sounds freaking hilarious when you hit that safety. Sounds freaking hilarious. Now the other Camry does have that safety feature. Both the engines sounds pretty similar, but trust me, they're not. 30 more horsepower is a lot. That's pretty much it between the two. I want to go over the inside. There's a huge difference in between the two. On the engine, the performance, I'm gonna get a 2019 a proper test drive, and I will go over it between the 2018 Honda Accord I recently tested, and also I'll give a comparison between this thing that we had for 4 years in our family and see how they both perform. All right, so before I really give my point of view on this 2019 Camry SE, man, once again, this is one of those cars I'm just gonna miss when I return it. I'll get to more of the driver dynamics in a second. I'm gonna see if the performance actually matches up with its looks. Is it a wolf in sheep's clothing, or is it a sheep in wolf's clothing? Now, I didn't take that metaphor for myself. Man, this thing cocks a little attitude against you. If you leave the windows down, the lights on, this thing just goes bananas. turn off lights, everything. Window open, this is just letting you know everything. Just beeping at you, hissing at you. Like, just come on. So I currently got the vehicle off. Do my last little test drive. But just want to walk around this thing just one more time, man. This thing is very beautiful. Got some company right here. But man, I'm just gonna miss this. I love the signature look on the Camry, this Camry generation. Has a nice presence to it. You may think it's a little overdue from my point of view, man. I think it looks just right. I think Toyota did a fantastic job on this design. All right, so time for this little final drive. Wish the engine didn't shake as much when you start it up, but whatever. So, just to recap, I am in a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, 203 brake horsepower. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. I'm going to put in manual mode. These Toyotas, when you put in manual mode, for some reason it goes to default into like 4th gear, but I don't think it's really in the 4th gear. I downshifted to 2nd gear. And the pedals are very responsive. Now keep in mind, if you're not supposed to downshift at a certain gear or RPM, it's going to override you and not shift whatsoever. Let's see if I put in 3rd. We'll just start off in 3rd gear. Sounds like 1st. Now we're in 2nd. Now we're in 3rd. Now it stays in 3rd, but it started off in actually 1st gear. So I tried to do the whole tripod thing on the headrest, but that didn't work. So looks like I do a little handheld action for you guys. But the show must go on. This is a good time for me to do a little quick acceleration run. This is not a 0 to 60, just a little pick up and go. If that wasn't enough for you, there is another engine option, a 3.5 liter V6 with 303 brake horsepower, and that's a lot. I believe he uses the same 8-speed automatic gearbox, and this is this car's biggest downfall, the gearbox. Honestly, when you're driving around normal speeds, low speeds, you kind of notice the transmission has this hesitation, and it shouldn't have it for an 8-speed automatic gearbox. I'm not for sure if I could give you a good demonstration right now. The hesitation usually occurs when you're going uphill. It seems like it's getting confused on which gear to stay on, stay in. Should I stay into 3rd or should I kick it down to 2nd? I think the car has a hard time deciding which gear to choose. I think it'll be best, and I know this may seem kind of blasphemy to say, especially in this car world, this car industry, car enthusiasts. I really do think that this car will perform well and better with a CVT transmission. I know I didn't say manual transmission. No, believe it or not, I said CVT. It's very smooth in the Toyota Corolla. And I know this is a different type of car I'm bringing up. I know it's a compact car, but the Kia Soul, the brand new 2020s, I think 2019s as well, it's a new facelift version, offers a CVT versus this, I believe a 6-speed automatic gearbox. Now that 6-speed in the Kia Soul isn't a bad car. I just noticed that the CVT makes a huge improvement, and I really do. And I know I'm kind of banging on about this, but I really want to see at least this 4-cylinder model, this SE, with that CVT. Most people who complain about CVTs have probably yet to drive a CVT. And ever since I started working what I'm doing right now, since February 2018, there's nothing wrong with CVTs. If made it right to the right engine, and it's pretty good, it's pretty smooth. First gear, I believe the gear's kind of a little too tall. I wasn't even going full throttle. My foot's still in the gas pedal just as it was when I just took off in first gear. Enough about the performance. This thing is really comfortable. Again, at 6'9", it is hard for me to find cars for me to be well suited in. And this thing, man, look, it may seem like a little cramped in here, but I'm very snug. This has, once again, I believe the best driving position for the midsize front engine, front wheel drive sedan. So after spending about 680 miles on this thing for the weekend, I have to say, from my point of view, does the performance actually match with the looks of the vehicle? Well, all depends how you use the vehicle. If you're just a highway cruiser or road warrior, just like myself, this will get the job done. The 4-cylinder only has 203 brake horsepower, which may seem not a lot, but it is very punchy. On the highways, has very get up and good amount of torque in here. Only thing that's kind of a letdown is actually the transmission, not the engine itself. I do find it to be very hesitant. I do believe a CVT transmission will do its justice. But yet again, I really would like to see how well that V6 handles the lease and performs. 300 brake horsepower in this thing, oh yeah, that'll be a killer. 100 horsepower will make a huge difference in this thing. This is a very good, comfortable, even for myself, 6'9", man, this has a very good drive position. A very good drive position. That's one of the best things I like about this car, aside from its looks. So if you ever had thoughts about it, give it a little test drive, man, because I'm really gonna miss this car. So from my point of view, I'm out. That one.